Welcome to my presentation on problem-based learning. So first I'm going to be examining the text that we've been reading by John Verrill, the first 3 chapters. So the question that I decided to look at on chapter 1 is, what are at least 10 reasons for using problem-based learning? And the first one is, it engages students in the world, examining problems. Students that participate in problem-based learning process information at higher levels, which leads to deeper understanding, self-direction, and enhanced retention and transferability of information and concepts. Students construct knowledge, make connections beyond school, resulting in higher student achievement. And teaching for understanding rather than having students memorize facts allows students to transfer information to new situations. Number 5 for the question. Several intellectual and pedagogical processes normally involved in problem-based learning. For example, comparing, contrasting, summarizing, non-linguistic representations, cooperative learning, questioning, testing hypothesis, they all positively affect student achievement. High levels of intellectual challenge and social interaction are part of problem-based learning, and it's also motivating for many students. Problem-based learning is inquiry and choice-driven, which are also motivating to students because they can make choices and work with their peers. Number 8, during a problem-based learning unit, students engage knowledge, skills, and attitudes in many and varied contexts. So they're not just sitting and listening to information. And this is also very effective for students with learning difficulties or disabilities because they're challenged toward more lively and alternative engagements with and responses to content. So they're able to make decisions about what and how they can learn on their own. And problem-based learning also relates to the world of work because it has to do with problem solving, decision making, creative thinking, visualizing, and knowing how to learn. In chapter 2, the question I examined was, from the list on page 12, what do you think are the 4 most important behaviors, beliefs, or skills? So the first one I believed was critical was respect for others and their ideas. Number 2, cooperation. Number 3, curiosity. And number 4, persistence. Because I feel like without these, then how is problem-based learning going to be successful? Students need to have these characteristics to be able to do problem-based learning, I believe. Okay, on to the next chapter. Chapter 3, question I looked at, what can teachers do to ensure that students with special needs are included in the instruction? So within problem-based learning, if you allow students to have a free reign of selected topics so they can choose what they want to research and investigate, this encourages the students to use their preferred learning and reporting styles, and the students can engage in the content in ways that are more meaningful and enjoyable for them. So this allows students with special needs to be included in the instruction. So what is problem-based learning? Problem-based learning is aiding students to come up with answers to their own questions that interest them about their world outside of school or in their communities. It involves identifying problems, thinking critically and creatively, analysis, investigation, and resolving problems, cooperation, sharing ideas with their classmates. Okay, so now we're going to compare problem-based learning and project-based learning. So problem-based learning is similar to project-based learning according to the Edutopia article because problem-based learning is a subset of project-based learning. So it's one of the ways that teachers could frame a project is to solve a problem, and problem-based learning and project-based learning are similar conceptually, and they both engage students. Problem-based learning is different than project-based learning because problem-based learning follows prescribed steps, and project-based learning involves students creating a tangible project at the end. Students who complete problem-based learning often share the outcomes and jointly set the learning goals and outcomes with the teacher. On the other hand, project-based learning is an approach where the goals are set. Okay, last slide is talking about how we can infuse student inquiry into your curriculum. Identify how teachers can infuse student inquiry into their curriculum and turn students' questions into instructional units. Okay, so according to the text, I think this was in chapter 3, teachers can infuse student inquiry into their curriculum and turn students' questions into instructional units by modeling for students how to identify and resolve problems, then allowing students to identify problems they want to research, engage students in questions worth investigating that are interesting to them, and students will conduct research on the topic of their choice, but first the teacher will model for students how to conduct research on a topic. And then finally, for assessment, students can reflect on their own learning with inquiry thinking journals, and teachers can also have students make up their own examination questions. All right, thanks for watching.